Hello, plant friends. I'm back with you today to talk about orchids. I never was very interested in orchids, and then one day one of my students brought me one as a gift, and ever since that day I have been hooked on them. I tend to buy way too many of them, and but I just love them. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to plant a baby orchid. If your orchid ever has a baby, this video will help you know what to do in that situation. This is a plant, an orchid, that I bought on clearance at Lowe's one year, probably a few years ago, and it was really sad. And so I brought it back to health. And it's a mini orchid. It has bloomed before on all of these spikes, but this one right here, as you can see, developed a baby orchid. Isn't that adorable? This is the plant and this is the root. They have these nice thick silvery roots, which you'll know if they are hydrated the way that they should be by the color of those roots and whether they are nice and plump. This one you can tell it looks really good, really good. Okay, so we've got this baby orchid here, and today we're going to pot it up. We're going to take it off of the mother plant and put it in its own pot. But before we do that, I just want to show you some of the orchids that I have here and what they're doing right now. I've got this one. It's got these roots. The roots tend to like to crawl out of the pot. We have some that stay into the substrate, into the bark, and then some like to grow out of the pot, and these are hydrated by the air. This one is starting to develop its flower buds. Isn't that adorable? I'm so excited to see that. That means it's going to bloom again, and I'm very excited. On the back here, you can see these right here. These right here are starting to come up, and these will be stems. There's a stem here, and there's also one coming off right here. You can see that. That's adorable. I'm so excited about it. So I've got lots of good growth on the roots and some blooms. These others that are coming up, I'm going to cut off this one right here where it turns brown, just right where it turns brown. And these others here, I'm going to hang on to that. You know, I think a lot of people would cut that off. But as you see, that's where these blooms are coming back out. So I'm just going to leave that alone. I have another one here that's also growing some flower buds. Here's another one. And these pretty buds right here, as you can tell, they're a little bit different in color. I think this one's going to be pink, maybe. I'm not really sure. I haven't really kept up with that part of them. I don't know what colors they are, and I don't know the specific names. I'm not into it that much. But I do love them, and I keep these in my kitchen window where they have the sun shining in from the, they're on the south side of the house, coming with the sunlight coming just through the window, but not directly on them. Okay, sorry, I'm having trouble saying that. Anyway, I also want to talk about some things that I use to support them. I like this Orchids Plus fertilizer. You just mix it in with water. It shows that you just it's blue and you mix it with water. It's kind of like Miracle Grow. And you can water them with that. And I also love this Miracle Grow mist for them. You just spray it on the leaves, and I really like it a lot. I think I tend to notice that they start blooming after I start spraying with this. I had forgot about it a while back, and I just started using it, and then now here we have blooms. Another thing that I've bought, which I have not done a lot of this, the repotting of the plants, is this. They have an orchid potting mix from Miracle Grow, and that's what we'll be using today. Okay, I also bought these little orchid cups from Amazon to use for my repotting. I bought them in different sizes. This is the smallest size, so I'll use this one for my baby today. Okay, let's get into it. Alrighty, so we've got this little baby here, and we've got this stem going off on the side, so I'm going to cut it from the parent with my sterilized cutters. Okay, so now we've taken that off, and here we go. So we've got this cute little baby, and I'm also going to cut this part here as it goes up just a little ways from the plant. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we've got this cute little baby and her root here. I know that sometimes they'll have more than this, but that's all she's got, and I'm going to be really careful with it because I do not want it to break off. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to fill this pot up with some of the soil. Okay. Orchids in their natural habitat, they live on trees. They attach themselves to trees and they live on the bark. So the orchid soil is made up of just bark. That's all it is bark. Okay, so I'm going to maybe add a little bit more here. Making a mess. That's okay though. Okay, so I'm gonna get this cute little girl and put her in the soil gently. I'm gonna set her on top here. Okay, like that. Okay, and I'm gonna add some more of the substrate to kind of prop her up there and put some over her little root. Okay, and I think that's good. I mean, that was that easy. I just sat her in there and I added the bark to it. And she's sitting up. I had to move her a little bit further to the side because I wanted that root to fully be able to sit in this pot. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is water it. Orchids do best when they're watered from the bottom. So I've got this bowl here, and in the bowl I've actually got the Orchid Plus fertilizer. So it's a little bit blue, and I'm just going to set this down in there and hold it in until it sits on its own. Okay, and that's how we do it. There we go. So I'm going to let that sit there for just a little bit until I feel like it is fully hydrated, like that the water has soaked into the bark fully, and then I'll take it out. And I think I'm going to go ahead and give her a little mist here as well. Just a little mist. It can't hurt her. It can only help, that's for sure. Okay, and this is all you do. This is what you do when you want to transplant your baby orchids. I hope that you get a baby on your plants, and if you don't have any, I hope that this year when you go to the store, you'll buy one and bring it in, and don't throw it away. A lot of people throw them away. Don't throw it away. Just keep it. Just let it sit there. It may take a while. And just make sure it stays watered, and pretty soon you'll have more blooms on it. They kind of bloom on a schedule, maybe like every 4 to 6 months. I really am not sure, but I know they're kind of like African violets. They'll bloom really nice, and their blooms last a long time. Then those blooms will die back, and then you have to wait a little bit, and they'll just bloom again. So don't throw them away. Keep them until they bloom again. And that's all that I have for you today. Happy planting, and I'll see you next time.